I'm here with the most recently evicted house guest, Kendra, who is here to dish the dirt on Extra Whip. Now on Big Brother Cheesecake 8 Political Bait. Hello, I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother Cheesecake 8 Political Bait. It's day 32 inside the Big Brother Cheesecake house, and this week Dustin is the head of household, giving the NDP safety for the second week in a row. At the time of this recording, we do not know who he nominated for eviction, but what we do know is that the most recently evicted house guest was Kendra, who's here joining us to discuss what happened with the Extra Whip crew, Corey, Joanne, and Rhonda. Michael is running late. He's currently at his OBGYN getting an anal rejuvenation surgery since his 50th birthday is coming. And we all know his boyfriend is thick like Hungarian salami. Okay, so Kendra, you were a member of Team Corey, who is the Nicole of this season, just loses all the members, but has glow left, and you never know. You never know. So tell us, I'm going to start with the what went wrong question, but I also want to know, at 8:30 last night, only 5 of 9 house guests had voted. Did you think at that point that there was still a chance, considering 4 people hadn't voted with half hour to go? Go ahead.
No. Okay, so as I stated in my goodbye message to everyone, because
Loved
they're
it.
all fucking pussies and can't tell people when they're voting them out. So I'm a very straightforward, upfront type person, always have been. I don't play dirty. I'm very loyal to who's loyal to me. But I don't understand the whole point of, if you're not in jury yet, why don't you just tell the person, hey, I'm voting you out because you're not good for my game, or I don't fucking like you, you're a bitch, or whatever. So I'm going to kind of back up a few days ago. This is when I'm throwing people under the bus. So Gina comes to me, who I nominated. And the only reason why I nominated Gina, it was not that I did not like her. She had a diamond power veto and I wanted to flush her powers. That was my strategy. So she comes to me a few days ago and she's like, you know what? All the girls are getting picked out. We're getting picked out one by one. Do you think you could get the girls together and maybe we could all vote to keep you, plus you have Alex and possibly the audience? And I was like, well, yeah, probably. I said, I'll talk to them. So I talked to Penny. She said, yeah, let's go. I talked to Brooke because Brooke's my closest ally in the game, and she was all for it. And Glow was like, I don't know, I'll think about it. I was like, okay. I knew that was a no right then. And I was like, whatever. So we created the chat and everything was, I mean, we were all talking in there. Everybody was kind of gung ho. And then Gina comes in and she's like, I don't think we're going to have the numbers. We would if you voted the way that you said you were going to vote. A lot of that. So anyway, created the chat, went good for like 3 hours, and then it went dead. I was like, yeah, I already know. I'm not stupid. Sean, who we have had banter, him and I actually get along really great behind the scenes. Oh. Everybody thinks we hate each other, but we don't. We talked and we
just like
get along. Yeah, we get along. And he was like, this game's kind of boring, so what we do is kind of bring in some fun to it, plus camera time, whatever. And I was like, yeah. And so he tried to get Glow to keep me. And I knew when I talked to Glow yesterday during the day, when she's like, no, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to keep you, but I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to vote you out, but I don't know what I'm going to do yet. And then she stopped talking to me and I was like, yep, she's voting me out. And
You missed the part where
I
she
tried,
asked for money. But go ahead.
oh yeah, she sent her fucking GoFundMe 3 times, and I'm like, dude, I can't help you with money. Sorry. But I even tried to make deals with Zachy and Jonathan to not nominate them, not vote them out until like final six, and that didn't work. And I knew when it didn't work, they're like, "Oh, well, what can you offer me?" And I was like, "Well, I can offer this," and then nothing. And I was like, "Yeah."
You can
So
offer what?
I could offer, if I was to win HOH, I would nominate them, and then if they were on the block by someone else, I would not vote them out. That was what I was offering them, and they didn't accept it.
Did they come to you with anything else? Because I can't say, but did they? Interesting. Okay.
No.
I'll tell you
So
after, but
do
go
you
ahead, Ron.
think then that there's obviously, from listening to you, that there's obviously some larger alliance and what, like, to us it's very obvious, right? You, Brooke, and Alex together, right? And that you three were fairly tight. So then if I'm hearing this right, you see that there's another group of people, or people that are maybe together, that are saying that they're together.
Yeah, so Dustin was with us, and he lied whenever he became HOH, whenever he said he had to walk on eggshells and he couldn't say anything. We were all talking the entire time, all 4 of us in our alliance. We all talked the entire time and threw ideas off, agreed with everything. When I was HOH and I said I was going to put Gina up to get rid of her Diamond Power veto, even though I knew she wasn't going to leave, and I put Glow up. And I didn't know who was going to go up on the block at that time. He was good with it, because before I got solitary confinement, we talked about my noms, and they knew, and they all agreed, and they didn't try to get me to throw anybody else up there. And I was like, okay, cool. So when I did, and it played out the way it did, then they all come to me, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're going to vote out Paige." Okay, well, she might have been the only person I had an LBA with, and my actual final 2 in the game, because her and I know each other outside the game. So but I was okay with that. I was like, I can't protect her through this game. If she's not talking and doing her part of the job, I can't protect her. So do what you need to do. I'm not going to be mad. I wasn't mad.
Kendra, do you think, like, at that point, really to try and make a girls' alliance so late in the game, when you already attacked so many women, that it would be hard? Like, it would be easy?
But
Like,
I don't think she
I didn't attack any of the
well,
women.
just like go after them in a sense of
I only went
putting them
after
up there.
one.
But do you mean,
So
sorry,
Glow
Joanne,
is
do you mean
just-
nominate? Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
You mean
nominate.
nominate?
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, but I had talked to Gina since then. And of course I told her that I did tell Gina that I did vote her out whenever she was up against Anne Claire, because I really liked Anne Claire. I didn't realize Anne Claire didn't like me, but that's it's just, you can't really tell how people's tone is when they're texting. That's why I love talking to people more than texting. But I work 2 jobs, so I don't have a lot of time to do these calls. I'm only off right now because of the weather, or I would be at work right now and I wouldn't have done this today. We would have done it tomorrow on my day off. But
I don't remember, where do you live?
I live in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, okay, that's right. Just
Yeah,
your
we have
accent.
another.
We're all 3
Yeah, we have
Canadians.
another-
You sound way
Yes.
different than we do.
Oklahoma, the sooner state. The sooner you arrive, the sooner you want to leave.
Oh, it's not the best. So my dream place to live is somewhere that's 70 to 80 degrees all year round. So I hate it here. I hate the weather. And I've lived here for 45 years, all my life. So yeah. But no, so during the course of the bipartisan group before it broke up, there's another alliance that I was involved in with the Liberals, and I don't know the name of Alex's team with Penny and Jonathan, but we were also in an alliance until I got put up on the block by Dustin. Huh? And
You mean the
then
Block Quebec block.
it got quiet. Yeah. And then, of course, when me and Davey are both put up because we're both in that alliance, I was like, I know it's uncomfortable and y'all don't want to talk in here, and that's okay. But I knew when Dustin got 6 votes that he is in a huge alliance with people. And I don't understand how me and Brooke took the fall for Alex when Alex has all these LBAs with people. And Dustin told me the only reason why Alex didn't
Because
go
he
up,
has all these LBAs and they can't do
Can't
anything.
do pull for him.
right, until
That's
this
why,
round.
right?
I guess Dustin and Alex's LBA ends this round or something from what they told me. So Alex will be going up on the block, and I'm sure Brooke will be right next to him because they can't save each other. I mean, Dustin, they basically Penny in the little thing Friday night that y'all had whenever I was super upset and I forgot about it. Because I was mad at myself. I wasn't mad at anybody else for doing the veto. I lost that veto on my own because my brain was not functioning correctly. Because I'm normally really good at Wheel of Fortune, but for some reason that night I just couldn't do it. But Penny giving the HOH, from what I saw this morning, giving the HOH to Dustin, they're basically handing him this game. Dustin's going to hands down win this game. And I'm okay with that because 5 minutes into this game, when we first started, Dustin came to me and he was like, I'm so glad that we're playing together again. Let's take it all the way, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. So when he nominated me, I think it hurt my feelings more than it pissed me off because we were friends, I thought. And then I was like, why would you do that? And he was like, well, I can't really put anybody else up. And that's when I knew, oh, you have all these deals with everybody, so you can only put certain people on the block. So that's what I knew.
Okay, so one, I'm going to give you credit that the bipartisan chat was active. That chat never really died. Even when it went sour and south, that chat was still active, and then you left the chat and then it died. But that was long after you were nominated. I can't say who, so I can't confirm or deny because some of the House guests have been going around today trying to figure out who the 4 votes were. We obviously know the public voted to keep you. But who do you think were the other 3 votes to keep you?
Alex, Brooke, and I'm back and forth between either Sean or Penny.
Okay.
So I don't know for sure. I know that Globe voted me out because she came to me after the votes were locked and was like, I'm sorry, I just woke up, but I did vote you out. And I was like, yeah, I figured whenever I'm being ignored, or being left on red, that I'm being voted out. I'm not stupid. It just drives me nuts. Why can't people just say, yes, I'm voting you out. Don't waste your time or my time to even campaign to me, because that's just the type of player I am. If I'm going to vote you out, hey, don't waste your time. I'm voting you out. But we can talk. I have talked to Tina whenever I was.
Because there was 5 of them that waited for so long, do you think that there was a possibility that maybe they were really trying to hash it out till fight near the end? Right, Andrew, you said it was 5.
Well, 5 out of 9 had voted, so 4 were missing.
The 4 were missing. Do you not think that maybe they were thinking, because if 5 had voted, they had the 4, it would have been a tie then, right, Andrew?
Yeah.
But I think that's exactly why people didn't do that. They were probably debating, and then they're like, if it goes
That's what I'm not wondering. Did it take a really long time? Were people discussing and maybe trying to see what the public vote was going to be to see, and then were there people really trying to force that tie?
They were trying to keep from having the tie, from what I was told, because Gina didn't want to go to the tie. And who else? Gina for sure didn't want it to be a tie, and neither did Jonathan.
But Gina would have been safe if it went to Rox. She's NDP.
I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't want the tie. And
Andrew,
Sean would have been
figured
safe.
out people don't listen to rules yet?
They don't. They don't read or listen. They're like, oh my God, it's going to go to Rox. I'm going to go up. No, you're safe, but okay. But it didn't matter what I said. I tried everything. And, but Dustin has a huge alliance. And I think the same people that were in my alliance was in his alliance. So, and you can't confirm or deny any of that, but
Which alliance that you think
the
is with
people,
Dustin?
like people that are in the bandwagon
Oh.
alliance, which I just called out. So, and I don't know who, I don't know.
Hmm.
With you saying that you think people are handing the game to Dustin, do you think what it is you've got a bunch of people that are playing under the radar, and they're hoping that some of these bigger players, because there seems to be some players that have an extremely good read on what's going on, and they do have some influence, but the problem is that they can't do it. Like, I think some of these players are hoping that some of these big players to take each other out, but the problem is, here's your HOHs, Alex, you. Did it go? It
Alex.
went Alex, you,
Alex,
Alex, Dustin. And it's like, yeah, some of these bigger players that have a lot of influence in that, they can't do much with it if they're not winning shit. And I think some of these players are hoping big players take each other out, but you've only had a combination of 3 HOHs.
Who went home on Alex's? Who went home on Alex's second? Sorry, I don't remember.
And Claire.
And Claire. Okay.
Yeah.
So if
I think he should have done different things on his, but that's just me.
yeah, he should have.
Well, that was kind of the one we were shaking our head at, because it seemed just like the easy way out. Like, I put you up before, put you up again.
Alex had too many LBAs, but Alex also, God, he pissed me off whenever he came to me and Brooke and was like, hey, what do y'all think about Backdoor and Dustin? I'm like, are you fucking stupid? We have a powerhouse alliance. What are you thinking? I'm like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, no, just put Gina up. Just put Gina up. And then he goes and asks people, like he asked the people in the bandwagon, what would y'all do if I put Dustin up? Would we have the votes? And of course, a couple of people in there was like, he's dangerous. He's got the veto and he's a dangerous player. He's got power. Well, Sean and Dustin both have a lot of power right now. Sean can't go to rocks ever. He has a triple and he has a vote tripler. Thank God he didn't use it on me. And he's saving it for something good. And Dustin can play every veto. But he was in our alliance. So why blow up our alliance when everyone in our alliance was winning, except Brooke, but she would get there.
The bipartisan effort has had HOH every single week this whole season. So,
and Alex fucked it up in the third round. I'm like, why? And then me and Brooke pay for it.
Yeah,
by going on the block, and then I'm out.
Like, how did you guys feel about him afterwards? Like, the biggest thing with Big Brother Cheesecake, and I don't understand, because it was an issue in our season, and it's been an issue in the seasons I've watched, is how do people not understand that loose lips sink ship? Like, okay, if you've got a plan like that, you keep it to you tell maybe your closest ally, and that's it. Like, as soon as you start talking to other people, do you not think that those other people are going to talk to other, like?
Yes, I totally agree with you. And whenever he started asking around to people, I'm like, Jesus. But and then he comes back, oh, I'm not going to have the vote, so I'm just going to put Gina up. And then, of course, it's going to get back to Dustin. Because everybody,
or I guess just man up and do it, and then work and get the votes.
Right.
Like, don't talk about it. Either man up and do it, and then talk about it and try to get the votes. But trying to gauge it before you do it probably is never going to work out well for you.
Not in these games.
No.
You don't know who's talking to who behind the screen.
Well, that's just it.
You're just better off if you think that maybe this could work. Just go ahead and, because I mean, really, what would it have hurt him? He would have been in the same position. Like, he would have been in the same position as it getting out to people that he wanted to do it. He may as well have just put Dustin up and tried to backdoor him and tried to get the votes. Maybe then people would have went, you know what? He actually put him up. Let's do it. But telling people without having him up, right? People then get leery and then go, oh, hey, but if he's up there and there's this golden shiny target that, can play in every veto and this, that, and the other thing. He probably could have convinced people if he put him up. I really think if
Right.
he put him up, he could have convinced people instead of talking so much about it.
Correct. And then he tries to, oh, well, I'll make this deal to keep you from putting Kendra and Brooke up. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're just making it worse. And then, of course, it made it worse. But I just didn't say anything. I just got really quiet, didn't say anything. I love Alex outside of this game. So Alex is a really nice person. I've played with him in other games. I was actually I made it to final 3 with him in one game, and we cut him because it was me in my final 2 and him. We were in a 3-people alliance, but he was the person that had to go.
Who was the other person?
Who was the other part? Marcelino was my final 2, actually. And so I'm a very loyal person to my final 2. I will go to bat for my final 2 until the very end. I will even be evicted for my final 2. That's just how I play. I'm very loyal. And so sometimes my loyalty gets the best of me.
And that might be part of the reason why I was one of the few people rooting for you, because I see a lot of your game in mine, because I'm a very loyal player too. And I agree with you that under normal circumstances in a Big Brother org, if people are going to vote you out, why can't they just tell you? Right? Like, I don't understand why you have to not, but I'm suspicious that there were people who weren't 100% sure, and that's why they didn't tell you or they left you on red. But it's funny because you look so much, I mean, nobody really remembers season 1, but you look so much like Debbie from season 1. I don't know if you remember her, Joanne. But personality wise, you and Sean were so much like Chad and Charlene. And I was hoping that feud would continue.
It would have, because we were going to make it continue if I stayed in the game. We were just going to do it for show. That's why I put some of the things I put in main chat. No, I don't get all my news from TikTok. That was just me being a condescending. That was me being passive aggressive, I guess, is what I was told. And I'm not stupid by any means. I do work for the government, and I can't talk a lot about politics. So whenever all of that was coming, I was just like, I just send in my little jokes, try to be funny, but sometimes my humor comes off as bitchy.
Well, it's the biggest thing with like, I've only ever played this game. It was my first org and the only one I've ever played, but it's being all text. Tone is not usually transferred very well. So if you're a person that's, really straight to the point and you just kind of say it how it is, it's usually taken the wrong way. And
I get in trouble.
You kind of see a bit of it in every season.
I get in trouble at work all the time.
Like me, I'm sarcastic, and I was busy during our season, so yeah, sometimes you just get into you just get out what you need to get out. Like, I'm not sitting here having a lot of small talk, or and I could see, like, Ken said that, and I don't know if you watched his extra wit, but that was what, like, sometimes the small talk, and if you're not used to, when I played, this was my first time that I played, when I played season 6. So I found it very overwhelming, to be quite honest, right, in the very beginning. And I don't got time for this. So I kind of see what Ken says. I don't care if you're walking your dog or do it. Sometimes I just want to get out the point to stuff. And then people kind of take you that you're, either you're being miserable or you're being condescending, or you think highly of yourself, or you don't have time for others. So I can see that.
Well, he asked a question, and Penny asked him, well, have you watched the videos? And he's like, no. Why would I watch the videos? And we're like, well, you're not going to know anything about the game if you don't watch the videos. It's like, you have to watch the videos to kind of know what's going on in the game, because you're not talking to people. I mean, I really wanted to get to know Ken, but he just wasn't talking. And it was like, dude. And then when he comes in, it's like, we ask him a question, and instead of answering the question, he puts this long thing in there about some politics thing. And I'm like, okay, so who are you picking for veto?
That was good.
You know who that reminds me of? That reminds me of Steven, hey? Doesn't say anything. Everybody's asking him questions, and all of a sudden he puts up this big pointless 10-minute video
Exactly.
about something and
But for
everybody
season, it was strategy and it was a purpose, right? Like with Ken, I think with Ken, with him, and he even said it when he started with politics, he thought this was going to be like a political debate thing and not so much Big Brother. And
Right.
yeah.
So before we get to bequeathing stuff, because you get to do that in a moment, you have a fun fact about Wheel of Fortune because this made its return since All Stars. So Joanne, I have something to tell you that you're not going to like. So remember in All Stars when you did horribly in Wheel of Fortune? So
And you
Yes.
screwed up.
Kat also did horribly too. I think she had Lindt chocolate bunnies or something. No, that was Brenda. But she had Lindt chocolate something. Oh, she said Lindt chocolate sundae. And the answer was large chocolate sundae. Because who the hell wants a Lindt chocolate
Yes.
sundae? But anyway, so Brazil and Nicole, sometime last season on Extra Whip, admitted to me that during that Wheel of Fortune competition, they helped Chad, which is how he won that. And I was furious with them because that's basically cheating. But I forgave them because one, they were both pregnant. Well, Nicole was pregnant and Brazil she's going to be pregnant eventually. But also, I forgave them because you and Kat did so terribly at Wheel of Fortune that even if Chad didn't get any help, all he would have had to do was just like show up and win. So in the end, it didn't matter. But yeah, so because I remember we were playing that Wheel of Fortune and it was just not clicking. You were just it's just
I
not.
I feel that 100%
Nope.
wasn't clicking.
And like Kendra said, when I play, like watching the television, I get all of them right. And Mike looks at me and goes, "What the heck, babe? Like, you should be on the show." And I said, "Yeah, well, clearly I can't do that because I can't even do that on Zoom."
You're cutting out there, but I think what you said was Mike wanted to have sex and you said yes, and then you filmed it, and then you got on Wheel of Fortune because of it. And then Pat tried to make a move on you, but you were like, "Ooh, no, I don't date anybody under 6 feet tall, let alone sleep with them." And then Vanna, she broke her ankle and you had to replace her and turn the letters. And that's how you became the new Vanna. I think that's what you said. So anyway, so Kendra, you get to
It's
bequeath.
clearly what I said.
Yeah, exactly. Bingo. Kendra, you get to bequeath the third of the coup d'etat that you have been waiting forever and ever for somebody to get the other third because you thought you were going to be able to get that person and Curtis to give it to you, which I hate to tell you this, but I don't think there was any universe in which Curtis was ever giving you the third. I love you, but it just wasn't happening.
No, he wasn't going to.
But you do get to bequeath your third, which you kept because I think you were considering giving it away this week, unless I've been lied to in the DR. Who would you like? Yeah. Nobody asked you for your third, for your vote? For their vote?
So no,
You don't-
nobody asked me for the coup d'etat for their vote, for their vote.
Well, some
So they
people-
lied to you.
They either lied to me or they got cold feet because some people were going to ask for the third coup d'etat in exchange for their vote. Would you have said yes under an LBA? Would you have given up the third coup d'etat for a guaranteed vote that was legally binding?
Depends on who asked me for it.
Interesting. Ooh, la la. Yeah. Go, okay.
But no, I didn't offer it to anybody.
And nobody offered it to you.
Nope.
Interesting. Okay.
See, bunch of pussies.
I can't say anything more. Okay, so Kendra, you get to bequeath the third of a coup d'etat to the house guest of your choice. Who would you like to bequeath it to?
Brooke.
I figured. And then, which she may end up getting picked tomorrow, or yesterday, but she won't for the Pringles party. And she could get the coin flip for the other third. And you get to bequeath either the orange or the utilities. The other one will go to the veto winner. So which one would you like to bequeath?
The orange to Brooke. And the utilities can go to the veto winner.
Okay. That is the correct answer in terms of which of the two you should give away because the orange is better. You remember last season when Tom was on Extra Whip and Brazil and Nicole and I were like, Do you want to bequeath the dark blue or the railroads? And Tom was like,
No, I was too. Remember, because Tom asked me to be on the extra whip with you guys, and we're all sitting there stunned. Like,
So I watched the last season's Monopoly veto before I
Whoa.
decided to choose my colors. That's
Oh.
why I went and watched all your your
what
Monopoly
round
videos.
was the Monopoly video played in last season? I'm just asking you out loud, Andrew. You could just do like, what round was that played in?
It's always usually late, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It was like
Fairly
day
late.
70 something, if I'm not
Mm.
mistaken.
I
But I think
Anyway.
did Michael win it?
Yes.
I think Michael won. Yeah.
And he had orange, and that was why I chose orange. So
Okay, so because we're starting to run out of time, the other question I have to ask you, which I ask everybody, considering we're at an interesting point in the game where after 4 weeks, we still haven't heard 4 voices, and we still have 4 people who haven't even played in a veto yet. Some people have played in all of them, some people haven't played in any. But who do you think is going to win the game, and who do you want to see win the game?
if things don't change, Dustin will win the game.
Mhm.
But if Davey steps it up the way I know he can, I want him to win the game.
Okay.
I
That
love
you-
Brooke, but I don't see her winning the game. But if Davey does what I've seen him do before, he'll win the game.
So then I think I know the answer to this next question, which I forgot to ask you before. Forgetting the fact that you obviously wanted to stay and you wanted to win, duh. Did the house guests make the right decision to evict you instead of Davey?
No.
Okay.
Because Davey's about to put it on him.
Ooh.
Well, the
Davey
only
says
problem
we-
with this game, it's like I was saying earlier, it's like you can have all the information and influence you want, but if you're not winning power, you can't do much about it.
Right.
And we've had, with you gone, there's only 2 other people that have been basically volleying back power back and forth. So
But didn't Kevin just win Big Brother Canada without any HOHs or vetoes?
yeah,
did he win
well, I think
veto?
he won vetoes. He
Yeah,
never
he won a
won.
veto.
Oh, he won a veto. You're right. He didn't have any HOHs. Yeah, you're right.
But I mean, that's
Rare.
Big Brother
Anything can
Canada.
happen.
Take a look
Anything
at
can
Corey.
happen.
Take a look
Exactly.
at Corey.
Corey almost
Corey
won.
Is way out of a paper bag until the final 3.
I came in second a
Well, you
lot.
couldn't win a comp until the final 3, Corey.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
such a- you were
I
such a
came in
great
second
partner
on
to
a lot of
have.
the comps.
So do you think like do you think that there's a few players that are really trying to run things in the background, like sneakily, then like that kind of have their hands in everything? Because there's
Dustin has his hand in everything.
Yeah,
Because
but
but he's kind of out front about it.
yeah,
though.
he's out front. So is there someone sneaky behind the books that, you know?
So
He doesn't have his
Glow.
hand in my pants, though. But anyway, go on.
Glow. So Andrew makes Glow not look like she's super smart sometimes, like she's just a jokester. But she's very strategic and she's very smart.
What? She's like Chicken George, but a woman.
No.
I think it's an act, hey. I think that I do.
It
and
is
I think that
she
this
is
is
so freaking
Amy's
smart.
trying to say some stuff, but I think she's doing things.
Okay, let's not put the target on Glow. She's all I've got left here, people.
No, I talked to
and
her,
Tom
and
should
she
play
is so
together.
Smart. She
God,
is so
yes, they
smart.
should.
Not just like about game. Glow is a very smart person in general, because her and I talked for I think like an hour and a half the day
If Glow is
I
such a
don't-
smart person, can you explain why she doesn't understand any of the powers she has? The poop protection, or the chamber?
I think she just gives you shit.
Wait a second. Ken doesn't understand anything, and he's PhD smart. Are you saying Glow doesn't understand anything and she's PhD smart? Is this the direction we're headed?
No.
That's
Oh.
You
absolutely.
can be smart though, and read. You can be smart and read people and know what's going on in the game, and
Right.
only half-ass pay attention to your rantings, Andrew. Right? So it's a lot to watch through the videos, and like, and maybe that's it. Like she know. I think she know. Yeah, she's been around the block, probably knows people. Just because she doesn't have time for your poo brown veto.
Real quick, when 1 minute or less, because we're almost out of time. We haven't talked about Jonathan or Zachy. Any like quick thoughts on them?
Well, they are gonna float their way. They're not doing anything. They're the two that I tried to make deals with, and I'm sure they went back and talked to whoever in their group was like, yeah, she's trying to make deals with me, but never gave me a definitive answer. But they're not doing anything, so they might be behind the scenes talking, but they're not doing anything up front.
Okay.
But if they don't win any, I really don't think.
I had a few players say that about me in our season. So
Kendra,
Yeah, I mean, but
most important question: did you have fun?
I had a great time. Your game is amazing. It's whenever I was like, oh, 85 days, this is gonna take forever. And then I was like,
Goes
oh,
by
okay.
fast.
But when you're on the block, that's like the worst, because you have to sit and wait, and then you have to like, okay, I've talked to these people like 50 times, and I still have to keep talking to them for like 3 more days.
Well, like I said in my goodbye message to you, you were so much fun to have. You are always welcome to apply again. And I'm just so thankful that you had the chance to be here. And with
thank you for
that
having me.
said, you're welcome. Who will win the Golden Power Veto? Find out in the brand new Golden Power Veto competition inspired by Rhonda, and she has no clue what it is. Find out tomorrow. Monday's Golden Power Veto ceremony. Tuesday, the final 2 nominees will plead their case. And Wednesday is the next live eviction. And I can't even get through the break.
Totally done on purpose, Andrew.
Wednesday is the next live eviction ahead of household competition, where another house gets to be evicted from the Big Brother Cheesecake Gatehouse, get impeached from Congress, and lose their shot at the $800 cash prize. I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Take care, and remember, politics is more dangerous than war, for in war, you are only killed once. Good night.